Do you have questions about buying or selling a home, not sure if you're qualified? Your local real estate agent Antoinette Ware is here for you. Do you live out of town, moving out of town, or looking for investment property? Well, let's work together and make it happen. Antoinette Ware can be reached at 419-917-6258. The name you know, celebrating over 20 years, serving Toledo and surrounding areas. Frida's Cleaning Service is a small family-owned business established in 2003. With over 17 years of professional, high-quality, and greatly satisfied service, La Frida's Cleaning Service will get the job done. Specializing in sanitizing your home, business, post-construction, and commercial cleaning, no job's too big or small. See for yourself and give us a call, 567-249-9172. La Frida's Cleaning Service. Our reputation is always spotless.
Hey there, this is indie artist Chambray Price, and I rock with Queen Silvy on the Queen Silvy Show. Bye, y'all. Hey there, this is indie artist Chambray Price, and I rock with Queen Silvy on the Queen Silvy Show. Bye, y'all.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live, it's time for the silky smooth sounds of Smooth Tim and Her Majesty herself, Queen Silvy.
Hey, it is Smooth Tim, and thank you for dropping by on another terrific Tuesday on the multiple award-winning Queen Silvy Show. It is now my esteemed pleasure to bring to you the Queen herself, the sexiest granny in the world, Queen Silvy.
Yes, for I am Queen Silvy. On this terrific Tuesday, the multiple award-winning The Queen Silvy Show. Because I got it like that, because I am Queen. Yeah, baby. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in this great world today. I hope you are ready. Impactful, informative conversation you're in for today. But Smooth, how are you?
I am doing terrific on this Tuesday, Queen, and how are you doing, might I ask?
As always, I'm supercalifragilistic.
Expialidocious, I suppose, is 24/7, 365. Queen Silvy, you're just simply
I know.
amazing. Yes, you
I
are.
know. Double true that. I am amazing indeed. But hey, you are amazing, Smooth. You are amazing. We have an amazing guest today as well as announcements.
Absolutely. On today's show, Queen, we have Marie McKenzie. Marie is a sexual assault recovery coach. She is also the founder of International Sexual Assault Institute. So looking forward to talking to Marie and see what she has. Very interesting topics.
Absolutely.
Also, hey, we're thinking about the people down in the Houston area that got slammed by tornadoes down there. They got all kinds of power outages and people that I think they had a little over half a dozen people that actually got killed, lost their lives in this. So,
That is terrible.
there's a lot of that breaking out. Unfortunately, we've had a shitload of tornadoes. Excuse my
Right?
French.
Well, it is what it is, right?
It's been an interesting tornado season so far, and a lot of destruction, and not just only in the Houston area, but all over people that are affected by this weather. Where our hearts and prayers are with you.
Absolutely.
Oh, let's see. What else do we got going on? Oh, yeah. Still thinking about the people in Gaza and running north, running south. Hey, people, our hearts and prayers are also going with you. There's a lot of innocent people caught up in this mess. So, hey, we're thinking about you. Also, let's see here. That should be, the Labor Day holiday's coming up, Queen. So next weekend, you'll have next Monday off. So we don't have next Monday.
I was just going to
off.
say, we are never
We'll
a day
still
off.
be working, but you'll have
Okay.
next Monday is a holiday, so there's going to
Yeah,
be a
I'll think
lot
of
of
you
people
guys.
out on the road, a lot of people enjoying the holiday. So again, be careful out there,
And I'll be thinking of you while
and
we
we'll be thinking about you while we're laid back chilling out.
Right.
But otherwise, that pretty much wraps it up, except for some analytics from last week's show. Those people in Australia, France, Ireland, Africa, Poland, Germany, Mexico, Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom. Thank y'all for tuning on in. We sincerely appreciate you.
We certainly do. In fact, if you're watching this live, I want you to know Smooth and myself, we love and appreciate you. And if you're watching this later on our archive,
Our love is everlasting.
our love is everlasting. We love and appreciate you on this terrific Tuesday, the multiple award-winning The Queen Silvy Show. You do have time to be kind and spread the word for someone else to come on in and get some of the super greatness we have in store for you. What I'd like to do before I get into my conversation with my wonderful guest is I'd like to share some motivational words from The Queen Silvy Show to you. Don't let circumstances pull you down, no matter what comes your way. Get over it and keep moving forward. You see, those who have faith and move forward with a happy spirit will find that things will always work out. And believe me, there are many ways of going forward, but there's only one way of standing still. And your speed doesn't matter, because forward is forward. And don't look back. Why? You're not even going that way. Keep moving forward, right? And those are some motivational words, from the Queen Silvy Show to you. You know my little geeky word is yeah, baby, it's what's up. But before I continue on, I must give some shout-outs to my deserving kings and queens all over the world, like Carmen Jewel of Massage Therapy by Carmen, Simone Enterprise and Entertainment Company, and the Simone Family Foundation. A Journey Through Healing with Beatrice Crawford Daniels, Kinsley Patino, Queen Jenna, Queen Ashley Follett Cart, and Kenneth Rowley.
Shout out to you.
The Helen Myers, Peace Myers, Corey and Casey Patino, and Joan Mercer.
Shout out to you.
To my grandsons, Omari, Jonathan Jr., Tyron, and DJ.
Shout out to you.
To Jonathan Easley, Lee Allen Sr., Wade, and Katrina LP, and Cynthia, Melvin, and Teresa.
Shout out to you.
To Queen Sonia, Kaki, Shanika, Alana, Brianna, and Precious.
Shout out to you.
To Nancy, Delia, and Chrissy from Fort Worth, Texas.
Shout out to you.
I think I need to clear my throat right now. Something's on my throat. Hold on one moment, please.
Woof, woof. Meow. Moo.
Felt good. Don't knock it till you try it. To Ryan Kelly and the All-American Boys, Matt and Tracy, and the All-American Girls. Hey.
Yada do you.
To Pamela Anderson, C. Shorty Franklin, Patricia Wilhelm McGiffin, Renita Easley, Cole Rosa, Donna Ferry, and Pam Bailey.
Yada do you.
To my good friends in Africa, Amy Kanima, Webster Rito, Hostile Flow, Hero Boy, and Princess Aria Lua.
Yada do you.
To Sabrina Williams, Pinky Herman, Sassy Savage, Robin Taylor, and DJ Team Broke 100.
Yada do you.
To my good friends in United Kingdom, Beth Lambert, Nicola Jones, Bethany Jones, and Kay Cross.
Yada do you.
To Lorenzo Gabaniza, Christine Lewis Anderson, James and Audrey, Series Edition, and Nana Linda Hartley.
Yada do you.
To Edith Verhoek, Queen D. Brown, Sandra and Ben Johnson, Melody Gore Dobb, Miguel Montebon, Brian Pearson, and my good friend Joe Mack.
Yada do you.
Yeah, that's what's up. Hey, if you would love to be shouted out, if you have someone you would love for us to represent and shout out, we will hook you up every Tuesday with the multiple award-winning The Queen Silvy Show every Wednesday with Tim's Tidbits, and again every Thursday with the Now You Know Show with Queen Silvy and Smooth Tim, as we bring the best in live entertainment, talents, topics, and resources from around the world just for you. Check out this resource. And when we get back, the ball is rolling with so much impactful information we have in store for you on The Queen Silvy Show. Hi, I'm Queen Silvy of the multiple award-winning The Queen Silvy Show. You want to expand and get noticed? Then come outside your box and into our world. Internet advertising has a real impact on global awareness and even sales, so let's make an impact together. Offering for a limited time advertising and sponsorship packages that excel your purpose. So contact Queen Silvy or Smooth Tim for the exciting opportunities that awaits. Yeah. Hey, we are back on this terrific Tuesday, the multiple award-winning The Queen Silvy Show. You remember what I told you? You do have time to be kind and spread the word for someone else to go on in and get some of the super greatness we have in store for you. Once silenced by the aftermath of sexual assault, now devoted to empowering women to find trust, love, and intimacy after sexual assault. With over 20 years as an emergency room registered nurse, including her role as a sexual assault nurse examiner, she's renowned for her award-winning best-selling memoir entitled Things That Keep Me Up at Night, which chronicles her personal odyssey and triumphant transformation. She's here for you. Live from Orlando, Florida, I introduce to you sexual assault recovery coach, founder at the International Sexual Assault Recovery Institute. She's an international speaker, award-winning best-selling author with 20-plus years as a registered nurse. Here she is, the one and only Marie McKenzie.
Good evening. Good evening.
Hello. Beautiful, if I may say so. Very intelligent indeed, as we are honored to have you here on the Queen Silvy Show.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Let's begin with this short animation video that I have. It is What is Sexual Assault? We're going to check this out, and we're going to come back and get it on with Marie McKenzie. Check it out.
Hey Barb, what's up? I've never seen you this sad on Nugget Day. I don't care about stupid nuggets or stupid dipping sauces.
But there's 3 flavors. 3 flavors.
It's just Billy Squall asked me to stay after school for the 3rd time this week, and sometimes gets a little too close.
Squirrely Squall? That guy's a total perv.
Wait,
Are you saying that Billy Squall, are you worried he might sexually assault you?
Sarah! Shh!
Can't we talk about dipping sauces?
I know it's uncomfortable to talk about this stuff, but it's really important. My sister's a social worker, and she told me all about sexual assault. Basically, sexual assault is when someone does something sexual to another person without getting their permission first. That can include anything from touching someone's genitals, breast, or butt, inserting something into any of their body parts, or showing them something sexual when they haven't given their explicit consent.
Explicit consent?
Explicit consent is a clear, voluntary agreement to do something, in this case, something sexual. A shrug or silence doesn't count, and you can't give consent if you're feeling threatened, or if you're drunk or high. If you consent to one thing, it doesn't mean you consent to everything. And you can take it back at any time you change your mind.
Okay, but what do I do about Billy Squall?
If he assaults you in any way, first remember that it's not your fault. No matter who you were with, how you were dressed, or what you were doing, you have nothing to feel guilty about, period. If anyone ever rapes you or hurts you in any way, get to a hospital fast. Tell them what happened, and they can help you take the steps to prevent illness or pregnancy and get you to the additional support you'll need. Most importantly, you should tell someone you trust, like your mom or a school counselor. You can tell them face-to-face, over text, on the phone, or however you're most comfortable. Talking to us was a good start. Ugh, I'm freaking out.
Me too.
It's normal to feel weird or scared about speaking up, especially if you know the abuser. But it's brave to talk about sexual assault or any unwanted sexual behavior that makes you feel uncomfortable. You'll be protecting yourself and other people too. Thanks, Sarah. I think I better go talk to the counselor.
We're here for you, Barb, no matter what. Here, take one of my dipping sauces. Just not the Szechuan.
Well, I hope that was a little bit explanatory for someone, because some people out here are experiencing things, and I don't know if it's denial or what, but they don't know that it's wrong. What was done to them is wrong, leaving them feeling a certain way. Sexual assault is sadly a common experience for females of any age. And, on that topic, Marie, you don't just talk the talk. You've walked the walk. I mean, it all began for you at the tender age of 11. So let's start out with you. Share what you will or what you remember about that time in your life.
At the age of 11, I can still see it, smell it, hear it. It's fresh in my mind. And it's funny I wrote about it, but it wasn't something that really stayed with me on a daily basis. At the age of 11, I remember clearly it was a home birth that was occurring at my house that day. The man sitting on the sofa beside me was the husband of my aunt who was giving birth. I started reading at an early age, so I always had a book. So I was sitting on the sofa beside him. I was reading my book and he was reading the paper. And suddenly the paper was spread over my legs and his. And then his hand started creeping up underneath the newspaper between my legs. I was so shocked. I couldn't stand, I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything. It seemed like it went on forever. And when he realized that I wasn't moving or doing anything, he pulled his hand away and he just left. Now, we're in the house, we were sitting in the living room. There were adults and children in other areas of the house. Anyone could have walked by at any time. So he was very bold. And prior to that, I hadn't heard any whispers or comments that he was a pedophile, or that I wasn't being sitting beside him. So those were not things we spoke about then. As I grew up, I heard stories of him molesting other children in the home and in the community. I declaring the adults complicit because nothing was ever done. He was never held accountable. And I've had other experiences throughout my young years with adult male, and even in school. I was almost raped in broad daylight with other students laughing, and no one came to my assistance when the football team captain grabbed me and dragged me into an unfinished building, and other students looked on and laughed. I was able to escape. Thank God it was not by my strength, because I was no match for him. But it was a fight for my life, because he wanted what I wasn't willing to give. And he was intent on getting it. And I was intent on hell no, you're not.
Right.
So I thank God, but there were other experiences then. And when I was assaulted at home, I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even think of telling anyone. I grew up with the saying, children must be seen and not heard. So I was accustomed to like not speaking up. So it didn't even occur to me. I shared it with an aunt when I was about in my 40s, and I believe she kept it to herself.
Mm.
It wasn't until I was about 60 that I told it to the world. And, my journey evolved from there. But there are a lot of survivors, including myself, who remain muted and not share the experience. And not because they were threatened or there's a fractured relationship with parents, but sometimes they just don't share, as
That's
I
true.
did.
That is very true because when someone is sexually assaulted, especially as a young child, they may carry a lot of shame about the experience, and I find that you probably didn't realize that at the time, but I know you do now that you are a very strong person because you held that in from the age of 11 and you never told anyone for like over 40 years. So that's decades of you dealing with this and succeeding in life. You know what I'm saying? So what was that like once you talked about it?
When the first time I talked about it to my aunt, nothing changed because we didn't explore it further. What changed was when I was invited to a podcast where I was being interviewed on my role as a sexual assault nurse examiner. And without any previous plan, I disclosed. So sharing the episode with friends and family, of course, they were shocked because they had no knowledge. And seeing how friends and family came forward to share their stories of experience with sexual assault that we had no idea that each of us had experienced things like that. And people were saying, oh my God, thank you so much for giving me the voice, helping me to share my story. So their healing began because when you're silent, you feel guilty, shame, you're blaming yourself. This is something I caused on myself. And these powerful emotions, shame, guilt, and self-blame, thrives on in silence.
Mm-hmm.
So the voice is saying, you're not worthy, you're not good enough, you're this, you're that. And then over time, that's what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you become. So until you start working on it and get it out there, secret no more, then it's such a freeing because you're not walking around with this burden anymore.
Right. Wow, that's a lot. I mean, it's a lot for a child, it's a lot for an adult, for anyone to
Yes.
have to go through this experience. And if you don't have the resources or the outlet, that buildup can just be eating you up inside. I mean, you've chronicled your personal odyssey from the sexual assault within your award-winning best-selling memoir. Audience, give it up to her if you will. Yeah. Things That Keep Me Up at Night. That is the name of the book. What would you like to share about the book and the personal therapy it brought to you?
So shortly after I went on that podcast, this amazing opportunity came to me. I entered a 30-day writing challenge. I remember I was navigating my Facebook page and this message flashed across. I emailed the person who sent the message, a lady by the name of Nelena Kai. She's a best-selling author, very talented woman. And the informational meeting via Zoom was for people who wanted to write a self-help or a memoir. Now, I had never thought of writing a book, self-help or memoir. I'm a registered nurse, but I decided I didn't know enough to write a self-help book. So I chose memoir, didn't know what I was going to write about. And the night, I remember she said, if it's something painful, do not write it at night.
Mm.
I got off the call, and that's the only thing that came to my mind about my experience with being sexually assaulted at the age of 11. And I wrote the first chapter that night. And that was born 30 days, and then it went through editing, rewriting, and released in June of 2021. Silver medal in their education category. So very proud moment. And there, yes, in that book, I shared my journey from being sexually assaulted, my journey to adulthood, the people in my community, which I call my village, who helped my mother and I. I talked about my aunt, my role model. Although my mother was my primary caregiver, my aunt was the person I wanted to be like. Morality, just a bold person who was very strong in what she wanted out of life and what she wanted to be. And she instilled certain values in us as young girls that, it stays with me. And she's a registered nurse. I always wanted to be like her. So I'm glad I got to do that.
Well, that is
So, and
so
thank
that's
people in my
honorable.
life
That is
when
so
I was growing up
honorable.
who helped with me being who I am today.
Well, that's very honorable to have an aunt, to have someone, you know what I mean, that you can look up
Yes.
to and get motivated by. Tell everybody how they can obtain the book, by the way. Things that
The
keep me
book
up
is
at
available
night.
on Amazon and wherever books are sold online.
Okay. Yes, because
Thank you.
she's Googleable, everyone, and I want you to know that she's just that professional and impactful with what she does. Very well known. All you gotta do is just Google the one and only Marie McKenzie, and you're gonna get all this here stuff. But as an emergency room ER, the emergency room is a stressful environment, whether it's for the patients or whether it's for the staff. But why did you? Well, now I know why you became a registered nurse, right? Because of the motivation from your auntie. But what about the experience of being a sexual assault nurse examiner?
While working in the emergency room, well, in nursing school, they take you through clinicals and all the different specialties. So, and I fell in love with the emergency department. That's the only place I wanted to be. And thank God, straight out of nursing school, I was able to work in the emergency department. Now, while there, some of the patients we care for are survivors of sexual assault. I was at the beginning, we help the doctors to, they do the exam,
Mm-hmm.
collect the evidence, and the nurse was the one who packaged, maintained chain of custody until it was handed over to law enforcement. So later years, I became a trained sexual assault nurse examiner where I was doing the interviews, I was doing the examination and collecting the evidence. Yes, and I still do to this day. I do that part time.
Wow.
And it was there that, I found my passion for advocating for and serving survivors of sexual violence. Because in the beginning, I wasn't working on myself
Mm-hmm.
to get over my sexual assault. I was depressed, suicidal. When you carry this burden for a long time, there's a book I like that's called The Body Keeps the Score.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you've been through trauma unresolved, then it turns into medical problems, psychiatric problems, you name it. Your body is a roadmap of what you've been through. So I was inspired to start working on myself through being associated with people and associations who help survivors overcome their trauma. So then I developed a passion for the advocacy and
Bless
later
your
on
heart.
transition into becoming a coach.
Bless your heart.
So that's my.
So listen, over the weekend, and we always invite any guest. Excuse me, we invite anyone who has a question for our guests to either call in or send in a question. And one question came in over the weekend from Nicole, who sent in. I want to say it's a personal question, but she asks you, what do you say to someone that's sexually assaulted and not believed by the police?
I hear that so many times, but my thing is, do not give up. Seek help to care for yourself, because not every survivor received justice.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're even believed, and when it goes through the court system, they don't get the justice they receive. But my advice for you is take care of you. Take care of you. Make sure you're taking care of your mental,
Mm-hmm.
physical, spiritual well-being so
Absolutely.
you can move on.
Right? Because that can be
And
another scar, when you come to
yes,
the authority or someone and not believed, that just
yes,
can leave you really feeling
that's
empty.
re-traumatizing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So,
And
excuse me, go ahead.
no, and I've known of others who were not believed by one police, then they go to another. So there you can keep going until you exhausted all your options.
Mm-hmm.
So because one person didn't believe, that doesn't say you stop there.
Right, right. Well, that is true. I know people that use that very theory even when it comes to going to the doctor. You know, you
Right.
can go to a doctor and then not satisfied with what you have, but you know something's wrong or something, just go to another doctor, get another
Exactly.
advice in there.
Entitled to a second opinion or a third opinion or a
Yeah,
fourth opinion until you're
absolutely.
satisfied.
Let me ask Marie real quick. How about if a individual procrastinates for a couple of weeks before they want to come forward, and now there's still no longer that window to collect DNA evidence, correct? How do you handle that?
We still do the interview and get, if the person wants law enforcement involved, do questioning and see how far it will go, what will happen. But you have up to 5 days,
Mm,
where we can still find DNA.
that's
Yeah,
interesting.
so all is not lost.
That's interesting. That's great. You
Yeah, but
know,
my advice is to anyone, even if you're not sure you want to report to law enforcement, get to the Rape Crisis Center or the emergency room. They can collect the kit and keep the evidence. I know in Florida, the law was to save the evidence for 8 years. Now, effective October 1st this year, the law has changed that the Florida Department of Law Enforcement needs to maintain that evidence for 50 years.
wow.
So, yes, because the survivor can change their mind at any time and come in and say, I want to prosecute, and that evidence is there. So, even if at the beginning you're not sure, get the rape kit done, and the evidence will be stored anonymously until that time.
Whew, that is so important. And boy, is that informational. Because, in some ways, I feel like the government is not backing a lot of serious issues. I'm not going to get into no politics because I don't do politics on my show. But sometimes I get a little like a mad cow or sometimes over things that I know that the government can do better and can be more supportive in a lot of different ways that a lot of people here in this world or worldwide is going through. So that's when I give honor and hats off to wonderful people like you who is making a difference and reaching out and doing it because like Nicole says, I don't know if that's her situation, but going to someone for help and someone doesn't believe you is like slamming a door in your face. And so you need other resources, other ways, other people, and see that's why you are here. I mean, even as an international speaker, sexual assault recovery coach, and the founder of the International Sexual Assault Recovery Institute, explain some of the things that goes on there and your mission. I pretty much see your mission, strong head forward, but explain.
I want people to know that sexual assault, it's not a me problem or you problem. It's an us. It's going to take all of us to solve this problem or to help survivors. You know, we are conditioned by the government and society how to view sexual assault. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't occur in a vacuum. The systematic misogyny, re-victimization of victims, as you mentioned there before, victims were not believed, even sometimes by parents. A child
Mm-hmm.
may go forward and report, and a parent doesn't believe, or the perpetrator is a parent, because perpetrators, they're not always running around in the streets. They pray where they are trusted in our
Mm-hmm.
homes, churches, schools, neighborhoods. So it's going to take all of us. So my mission is, I was muted for years. And once I started talking, I just never shut up. And I will not shut up because there are so many voiceless out there. And I want people, women, to know you are not alone. So the more I share my story, the more I talk, there is always someone who will hear and like, oh my God, she's talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was alone going through these things. So, and the resources are so lacking for survivors.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many people out there. When you're raped, you think like, oh my God, where should I go? Your brain, it changes the way you see yourself, the people around you, and the world. So you're not thinking rationally. Where do I go? Do I go to the ER? who can I call? You know, you may not have trusted friends or family because we're not all that fortunate,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So the resources, we need more resources for survivors, more coaches, more, whether it's therapy you want to. And a lot of survivors would want to consult with someone who has been through what they've been through. I mean, it's not a must, but they want someone who knows, who has the experience. I
Mm-hmm.
know we all experience sexual assault differently, and or triggers or what we feel, and over time the way it manifests is different. But some of the things that I went through, I was suicidal, I was depressed, I had debilitating abdominal pain for years. I had no clue what it was from. You
Mm.
know, just the lack of trusting, even in myself, my own voice, my own emotions, even trying to love somebody. I didn't even love myself, much more to, you know, reach out and accept the love that was being offered. Settling for relationships that were without depth. You know that person is not good for you, but you're settling because you don't think you are worthy of more. And just the lack of the capacity to enjoy intimacy. Those are real issues that
Mm-hmm.
survivors like me experience and women are experiencing every day. So that's part of what I do. My mission is to, you're not alone, help is available, just reach out.
Can I ask you one quick question? What do you do for male victims of rape, sexual assault? How do you handle them?
You
How-
had to go there. I love
I
it.
deal with women, and if I'm ever approached by a male, I have resources and people who do that, and I can refer them to.
That is great.
but your specialty is women, so you don't handle the men that have went through that type of trauma. That's all I'm asking.
Not for coaching, no, but I do care for them. And when I was in the emergency room, I have cared for male survivors. Yes,
That's great. Hey, sending them, giving them a resource is still, it's like a golden ticket because you're not closing the door on them. You're giving them another option to get that help.
exactly.
And
And they have options.
yeah, and for the record, yes, we are discussing it's for women, but there are males who are
happens,
victims
right?
of this as well. Sexual violence, I don't care, in any context, is a traumatic experience. But and let's go with, if there's a child who has been sexual assaulted, the parent is unaware. What would be some signs of sexual assault?
It's the signs are there and they're so often missed. So when you have a child who has reverted to a previous stage of life, for example, a child was past bedwetting who is now back to wetting the bed, that's a sign. A sign, a child who is speaking about sex more than their age, they're more mature in that age than they should be. A child who is angry, that used to be quiet and loving, is now angry, or a child who was very robust who is now withdrawn, child who is running away from Uncle Tom or Auntie Sue who used to run towards Uncle Tom and Auntie Sue.
Mm.
Don't just go say, oh, it's Uncle Tom or Auntie Sue, go give them a hug. That's for you to question, why is this child running away from this person who they always embrace? A young girl who is now promiscuous where sex is concerned, that where did that come from? Because those are some of the signs. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, you're now the village whore, examine, why is this child doing
Right,
this?
right.
And I say that because that's something that I've heard when I was growing up, and I've heard that from survivors. That's how they would describe as children when they were like promiscuous and running around as a result of being sexually assaulted.
Hmm. Wow, you got me
Sad.
moved right now because this is in serious, and it's a great information that you are providing for a lot of people out there, because you just never know who it could be. Your very neighbor, or it could be someone in your family, like you said, someone at church or in school that is experiencing this and have nowhere to turn. You know what I'm saying? But what about Marie, what about the mindset? As you mentioned there earlier before, the mindset and how the brain is impacted by trauma as well as triggers. What do you have to say about that?
Yes, research has demonstrated that during trauma, the brain changes. The memory for trauma is not your logical side of the brain shuts down. That's the part of the brain where you think and reason. Then it goes to the emotional side of the brain that cannot reason. So your trauma memory is stored in that. So that's where the triggers come. You cannot rationalize. The trauma has happened 10 years ago, but now you're experiencing it. You're having physical symptoms as if it was happening yesterday. And that's how the emotional side of the brain process it. So when this happens as a child, especially a child who is not believed or a child who doesn't disclose, so they are not given the resources to help process that, they grow up into adults who have not developed safe attachments, coping skills, or how to even handle daily, day by day issues. So trauma completely changes the way you see yourself, the world, and the people around you, the way you think and experience.
But Marie, you held everything inside, and you even continue with a highly successful career. So I guess I'm wondering with you, Marie, how did you personally deal with and get through any triggers? I mean, how do you even to this day, just like you said, you can remember it just like it was yesterday. How do you build your strength to deal with it now?
But over time, you develop tools and techniques that when you're being triggered, you call on that resource and how to deal with it, whatever grounding techniques, whether it be breathing, meditation, whatever it is that you have developed, so you don't get overwhelmed when you're triggered. So that's something over time. And some people, prior to rape, they have developed good coping skills, while
Mm-hmm.
some haven't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's each person experiences it differently. Some, what traumatizes me or overwhelm me may don't even affect another person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, yes, because everyone's different. Everyone's situation is different, and people who experience sexual abuse, sexual assault, they're negatively impacted by this here in many ways, and like you said,
Many,
different
many
ways
ways.
it is affected. But now, you, the Queen Marie, you're now happily married. Yes,
Yes, I'm happily married.
is it George?
Entering my 22nd or 23rd year. This is my second marriage. Unfortunately, when I talk about settling,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't love yourself, know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first marriage. Um, my second marriage is totally amazing. My husband, George, is my heartbeat, fabulous. So sexual assault is not the end. You can find love again. You can enjoy trust, love, and intimacy in your life. So it's not over. You're not your trauma. It does not define you or who you can be.
Wow. Well, shout out to George. I'm not happy to say it, but I know that my experience and knowledge gained along the way of being married 3 times, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to say, it made it hard for Smooth in a way because, I got to the point where I know what I'm going to accept, not going to accept, how to be treated, what I wanted and all. And coming from bad marriages, you kind of sort of step into it with your guards up, let's just say, until you feel that it's right. But you tell me, what are the steps in making things work out? Coming from sexual assault and finding trust after sexual assault.
One of the things you have to do is develop good communication skills with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to disclose? That's totally up to you. Are you going to disclose to this person coming into your life that you were sexually assaulted? I often encourage women to disclose because triggers come at any minute
Mm-hmm.
without warning. And how does that spouse support you if they don't know what's going on? So that's my advice, but it's totally up to the survivor. Learning to set boundaries. when to touch you, what you'll accept and what you won't accept. Just leaving the doors open or closed. I spoke with one lady the other day, and one of her trigger is a belt because her perpetrator.
Right.
But yes, the belt. So she said her husband knows, and there's no belt in her house. So being able to communicate with your partner, those are one of the main, and set boundaries and take care of yourself emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Self-care, positive self-talk, talk to yourself, be self-aware. Yes, those very, very important.
And that is so very, very true. In fact, I tell people, that's one of the top keys of even having a successful marriage is communication. And that too, I learned, because you can hear stories afterwards. Well, we couldn't talk, we couldn't communicate. You got to rectify that, because there's many ways to talk and there's many ways to communicate. And that is part of being that team and support. So hats off to you, because Smooth is a wonderful 16 years. He's been through it 16 years with me, ladies and gentlemen. So,
congratulations.
Right?
Yay for me.
I think I'll bake him a cake today. It's just that great. But
what's interesting is, and as you said it, once you go through a previous relationship, which I have, Queen has, you have a different set of priorities and expectations that you have in that next individual, that you're saying, here's my boundaries.
Exactly. You know what you won't settle. Yes.
So what about experiencing love after sexual assault?
That's being open, start with yourself. Because a lot of us after sexual assault, you're looking at that, you're walking around with the crime scene. So this is the only crime where you walk around with the crime scene. And a lot of times you don't love what you're seeing. It's like, oh my God, there's not enough soap in the world to make this body clean again. So it's over time, getting the resources and the strategies to work on yourself, to love yourself, accept yourself, practice self-care techniques, whatever it is for you. I do a gratitude journal every night. I look for things that I'm grateful for. Those are some of the things that I do for myself. I do meditation. I do affirmations. So loving yourself first, because you can't love somebody else if you're not going to offer yourself.
That's right.
Yes.
I say that too. To a lot of people, you must make yourself a priority. You know what I mean?
Yes.
How can you, like you say, love someone else if you can't love yourself? Yeah, there's your homework.
Yes.
But what about, in exploring intimacy after sexual assault, what are some tips or coping strategies which may be helpful for improving intimacy in a relationship?
First thing, do not think of intimacy as sex. This is just one part of it. Intimacy is not just in the bedroom. It's that touch that you're getting, that, being respectful, embracing, communicating, communication, respect. So just don't think about it as sex. It's in the kitchen, sharing the chores in the kitchen.
Yes.
Just relaxing, watching television. It's just not just, ending up in the bedroom. So just be open. And it's intimacy with yourself, loving yourself too. That's where it starts.
Right on.
So,
right on. It does. And then, when you do that, that helps build and strengthen the trust as well.
Exactly.
While you're doing that there. So
they all go together.
Yeah.
Trust, love, and intimacy.
Yeah. So, is there anything that you want to say regarding trust, love, and intimacy after sexual assault that I may not have said or asked you?
I think we covered it all. It's possible. Don't just think sexual assault, it's the end.
Yes.
No, you've been through something horrific, but you're worthy of the rich and meaningful life, which includes trust, love, and intimacy.
That's right.
So get the resources, seek out the support if you're overwhelmed, and you can do it. I'm rooting for you.
When you're dealing with some of these victims of crime, what is the average time frame usually for a person to get through sessions with you so that they're able to, without your daily assistance, weekly assistance, however that is, able to cope with this?
So each person is different. It's getting on a call, see where they are, what their needs are, and customize a plan. So there is no time frame. I'm not going to say you have to get through this within my program is 6 weeks and you're getting through it within. No, each person requires something unique, and that's what we.
So you individually design the program based on the individual's ability to cope and to respond and to recover.
Everything is customized. Yes,
that's right. You know, this is
we are not all the same,
right?
And we are not all at the same stage of our journey.
Wow. You know, this here is a time for advocates, for survivors, their loved ones, the community, for everybody to come together and talk openly and support one another. So like if you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, help is available. Believe me, you are not alone. Just as Marie said, there's a 24/7 contact confidential line. I'm sure, Marie, you've heard of RAIN, www.rain.org. RAIN is RAINN, but you can also get in touch with the one and only Queen Marie McKenzie at the International Sexual Assault Recovery Institute. Marie, tell everybody how they can get in contact with you should they have more questions or need more information.
So you can get in touch with me at sarecoverygift.com. I have a free download, and when you do that, you'll get all my contact information. I won't burden your audience with different ways to contact me. So sarecoverygift.com, that's a free guide. You'll get information like what are triggers, how to identify your triggers, techniques and tips to mute your triggers, and how to develop effective communication skills, and so much more at sarecoverygift.com.
All right, I appreciate that. I'm gonna put that out on the website as well, because I think it's very important. So someone knows that someone is there to, you know, provide the information and the resources that helps build that confidence as well.
I got another question. Do you create, beyond working with the individuals, do you create support groups for them?
Not at this time, but that's coming up.
Okay.
That'll be great too as well.
Just an afterthought. Okay, great.
So, you know, we touch bases on some things about the one and only Queen Marie McKenzie, because there's so much about her. I hope that we will have her back on the show to do so many more things to reach out and help people. But, you know, when it comes to you being an author, we talked about things that keep me up at night. And but there's so many other things that you are involved in on your own, as well as a collaboration with other authors. But you have a book, From Stuck to Limitless. And that's partnership with other authors as well. So tell me about that book, please.
So From Stuck to Limitless is my brainchild anthology, and I have 12 other authors, including and plus myself, who share their trauma, what they went through, how they overcome, and how they're reaching back to helping others. I have veterans who spoke of overcoming post-traumatic stress, depression, sexual assault survivors, people overcoming debilitating health issues through changing their diet, people talking about toxic relationships, post-traumatic growth, and it's just 13 inspirational stories that will, from change makers, that will help to change your life from stuck to limitless. And it comes with a workbook also. There's a workbook that goes with From Stuck to Limitless.
That's great. That's great. But there's other books too, right? Look, this doesn't stop there. No. I don't know. Is it 90 Days of Pleasure and the Right Stuff also?
90 Days of Pleasure, because we cannot all be serious. It's a romantic suspense, co-authored with Nalena Kai. It's a series of 9 books, and I wrote book 9 with Nalena. It's her brainchild, the series. So with a couple, a young NBA player with an older woman, and it takes you through their journey, and you have to get it to read it. It's a page turner.
The Right Stuff is also one of your...
The Right Stuff is an anthology with different authors. We're talking to aspiring authors and how to write their books and how to get it published.
You're good with writing. I don't have it at the tip of my tongue, but you are a part of something in Orlando, that has to do with the writing. You know what
Oh,
I'm.
the Central Florida Authors and Publishers Guild. I'm their secretary. Yes, and it's an organization that help writers write and publish their book. To aspiring writers also. We're now recruiting young adult writers. We have 20 scholarships
Wow.
for annual membership. So if you're between, I think, 13 and 25 and you're interested in writing, reach out to the Central Florida Writers and Publishers Guild.
Wow.
So, and we'll help to hone your skills, foster you and mentor you and get you published.
Wow. That is amazing. Well, like I said at the beginning, you are amazing. Hey, let's just keep it real. But of all of that and so much, when you do have time, because that's a lot to be busy, and plus you must give the love to George, what do you like doing in your free time?
I love to work out. I read. I love to read. And I am a vegan since December last year, so I love to try new things. So I'll be in the kitchen for hours sometimes.
I love that. So no meat, right?
Say that again.
No meat, right?
No meat.
I
Nothing
love that.
with the mother or a face.
I love that actually, because that is what I'm transitioning into. I don't trust that meat and all that stuff there. You can survive on some good, healthy vegetables and things like that there.
Yes.
So good for you.
Beans. And,
yeah.
Yes. My gut has never felt so good in my life.
I bet. I understand that. Now, when you said beans, though, that's my only challenge is beans. Growing up on beans, pork and beans, black eyed peas, beans. But now, if you say beans, I might pass gas. I mean, that's what beans do to me. I got to figure out how to get those beans in. Well, okay, fluctuate.
So I find that, and I think someone posted it on Facebook, like a quarter teaspoon of black cumin seeds or fennel seeds. I sprinkle it on my meals, and I find that I don't get that gassy with
You can see, I don't feel bad saying that because you actually can relate. Sometimes that's what beans will do, but let me tell you, if it's good for you, healthy for you, hey, I'll let them blow where they blow, but I know I ate something that was right and good for me,
Yeah, so start off with small amounts and then but sometimes it tastes so good, I just keep eating.
What was that spice that you put on them? Cumin? Is that what you said?
Cumin seeds.
Cumin seeds. Okay.
To help with
that's
the
good for you.
flatulence, as you say.
Okay, that's good for you. I heard that name in turmeric.
Yeah, but spices that I use: turmeric, ginger, cayenne pepper, fennel. I love sriracha. I make my own sriracha.
Wow, look at you.
Basil, cilantro. Yes.
Well, that's good. Now, being that you're married, was it hard for George to adapt to that type of eating, or is he already like that type of eating?
Or is he a steak and potato
George
man?
Will not adapt. I cook 2 separate meals.
George is a steak and potato man?
I do sometimes too, though. I'm like, nope, I'm not eating that pork chop.
That's my kind of guy.
Nope. No, I cook. He's eating more vegetables than he used to. And I don't cook with oil at all. That's 100% out of my diet, oil. So I don't cook his meal with oil either. But he's not vegetarian.
What about butter? I wonder if we got the right butter. I think we do. What is the name of that butter we get?
Oh, Kerrygold.
Have you heard of Kerrygold butter?
Yes, I have. I don't use any oil or anything.
No butters at all? So what do you coat the skillet with?
Water. Or applesauce.
Oh, you can cook the vegetables in applesauce?
Yes.
Hey, we got a cooking class coming up, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, or just water.
Kind of steaming them.
Water and your spices, and you're good to go.
Interesting. Well,
you'll be amazed. You will not miss that oil.
Yeah, we don't do oil, sugar, those type of things. We stick away from those type of things because as you get older, you find that genetics. You can't run from your genetics, and some things happen as you get older, and you got to transition the way you eat. All that stuff. It's not a joke, but I did make a joke as a comedian on stage once about being married to African American guys, and which is fine. But I got tired of cooking soul food because some of that soul food will kill you right now. You know what I mean? They'll pile on the butter, the grease, the everything, and I'm like, I can't eat like that anymore. So
I heard this saying that genetics load the gun, but diet pulls the trigger.
yeah,
Ooh.
I like that. Say that again.
Genetics load the gun, but diet pulls the trigger.
Isn't that the gospel?
Right on. I like that very much. So, whew. Okay, well, enough of that. See, that's why I'm saying there's so many things that we can just like really put out and share and make a difference, because that one is a very good one. And it's important that what you put in your body anyways. You know what I'm saying? Don't just because this product is on sale doesn't mean that that product is really good for you.
And read the labels, because God knows what they put in those things. You can't even pronounce some of the ingredients.
That's right. That's right. You're such a blessing in so many ways. We are so honored to have you on the show. Tell everybody how you can be followed on social media.
At sarecoverygift.com, and that will give you all of my contact information.
Okay. I thank you.
sarecoverygift.com.
That's great. Is there anything else you want to say before we go?
If you're a survivor and you're listening, you are not alone. Help is available. Healing is possible. Woman, you have been through a horrific incident that is going to be with you for the rest of your life, but it doesn't have to define you. It doesn't have to continue overwhelm you. You're entitled to a rich and meaningful life. You're entitled to love, trust, and intimacy again. Sexual assault is not the end, and you are not alone.
I love it.
Wow.
I love it. Thank you so much for taking the time being here on the Queen Silvy Show. We most definitely going to be in touch with you. And do have a good day, and wait for me. I'm going to be hooking you back up because this was great. I enjoyed the conversation, and it's like I could go on all day talking about a lot of things. So thank you so much, Marie McKenzie, for being here on the Queen Silvy Show. Stick around. We're going to have advertisements from Smoothie, and then when we get back, we'll have something else to share with you.
Hi, my name is Kate Hudson Hall. I am an author, therapist, and podcaster. My new book has been released called Anxiety Hacks, with proven techniques, tools, and tips to calmness. So if you suffer from generalized anxiety, panic attacks, or feel abnormally anxious about certain things, within Anxiety Hacks, I show you how you can overcome these conditions successfully, enjoy a healthy and carefree life. My website is katehudson-hall.com. Anxiety Hacks is available now on Amazon.
All right.
That
was a deep conversation.
It very much was. Hats off to
Thank you,
Queen Marie McKenzie. We are so honored that you are aboard this platform. Definitely making a difference. Look for her coming up again, because there's so much that we can share. It's important that you collaborate and provide the positivity information worldwide, and we are always here to bring the best in live entertainment, talents, topics, and resources from around the world just for you. Hey, listen, you're not alone. There's so many ways to communicate, get help, get resources. One, as I said earlier, is rain.org. RAINN.org, but you can get the very good hands-on questions answered, as well as resources and information by contacting Marie McKenzie, going to the website at sarecoverygift.com. Smooth to repeat that for me.
sarecoverygift.com.
That is correct. There is a free book there. Feeling Safe in Your Husband's Embrace is a guide to overcoming your sexual assault triggers and finding intimacy with your spouse. It is so very important, and it is there for you.
Indeed.
You can also get information, because she is an sexual assault recovery coach, and she is also the founder of the International Sexual Assault Recovery Institute. So hats off again to you, Marie McKenzie, doing some fantastic things here for you. Believe me, she's here for you.
Absolutely.
On this terrific Tuesday, you know I'm hungry. I'm ready to eat something because I was fasting. I've only had a cup of tea, And it's time for me to go and get something healthy and great to eat to smooth on. So, Smooth, before we go, tell everyone how we can be followed on social media.
Simply Google us. Or, better yet, go to our YouTube site. Scrolling at the top of the screen. See how my finger disappears. Anyhow, The Queen Silvy Show and or The Queen Silvy Show. Drop that into the search engine of YouTube, and you'll get the results of all of our shows.
That's right. Go get caught up.
While you're there, please subscribe.
Yeah. There's so many other things that's available there on the website, like 8-9 years worth. So go on and get your
jam-packed with goodness.
Right on. Always here for you. And we are going to be here for you again tomorrow because that's Wednesday. Tim's Tidbits is on. Tim, anything you want to say?
Tune in.
That's what he always says. And do tune in because it's fantastic.
We always have fun, so tune on in. You'll have fun.
Very fun and informative, entertaining as well. A little bit of politics in there as well. That's what he do, though. But there's also the asshole of the week. Ooh, let's find out who that's going to be, too. His show is in the evenings tomorrow. That's Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check your time zones and tune in for that. And then come back on Thursday because that's the Now You Know show with Queen Silvy and Smooth Tim, bringing you inspirational, encouraging, motivating.
Potpourri of entertainment, Queen.
A potpourri of entertainment. That's correct. Just for you from some wonderful kings and queens coming from the heart just for you. So tune in for that. It's fantastic. We also end the show with a music video showcase. So come on in and find out just who that's going to be as well. That also is in the evening, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But do check your time zones. Join us for that. So with that said,
hey. Till next week, same Queen time, same Queen station.